Hi, my name is Carlos Herrera, and my speech will be on the dangers of unsafe sex. The purpose of this speech will be to design an effective fear pill using evidence found from other sources. So, according to an online article listing facts about sexual health in teens and young adults, they state that although representing only a quarter of the sexually active population, we represent nearly half of all new STI cases every year. As young adults, I feel like we should strive to do better to practice safe sex, not only for ourselves but for others as well. After reading through a surplus of articles speaking on the topic of sexual health, I believe that making a decision to practice safe sex outweighs the pros and cons of not doing so. Unprotected sex is hazardous to one's health as it comes with many risks such as infections, STDs, and the risk of pregnancy. If the risks presented become present in your life, not only can it affect you, but others as well. There are many options to avoid having unprotected sex like birth control, condoms, IUDs, and some surgical processes like a vasectomy. Risky sexual conduct may pose some serious threats to oneself, but it affects a lot more people than you might realize. Although you may know the person you are practicing unprotected sex with, the risks stated still stand for you and others. Molly Goodfellow wrote an article for the website Independent talking on how having unsafe sex exploits you exponentially. She starts out by saying that experts have today warned that despite a person's average number of sexual partners being 9, you may have been sexually exposed to millions of people that you might be unaware of. Knowing how STDs and STIs spread, the amount of sexual partners you have had sex with without a condom raises your chances of being exposed to an STD significantly. If someone has unprotected sex with one person, it may not sound like a big deal, but if that one person had sex with 10 other people, and that 10 other people had sex with at least one person, that's 20 people that you have been exposed to unawarely of. And once you have an STD, it will stay with you, and it cannot be cured with medicine, but some can be treated. Now, not only should you be concerned about your partners and your own sexual history, but risky sexual conduct can also affect future sexual relations. A website dedicated to help educate teens and kids on how to live a healthy lifestyle writes about having a sexually transmitted disease affects your sex life. Review by Mary L. Gavin, who has a doctorate in medicine. The article then goes on to list why it is important to let your partner know that you have an STD. The article starts out stating that having an STD can affect your partner's health if not practicing secure sexual conduct. Plus, carrying a sexually transmitted disease means it will be transmitted into your children. In addition to this, you must make your partner aware of your STD, even if it may lower the chance of actually engaging in sexual activity, because withholding this information can be considered a criminal offense in some states. Living with the STD feels like it would be difficult to find future sexual relationships. Fortunately, there are multiple ways to prevent getting one. A website for the organization Planned Parenthood, the nation's largest provider of sexual education, lists multiple ways to avoid the risk of unprotected sex. They say the only 100% guaranteed way to avoid STDs is to not have any kind of sexual conduct. Safer sex means using condoms, internal condoms, or dental dams. Planned Parenthood, no date. It is obvious that the sure way to prevent pregnancy or receiving a sexually transmitted disease is to practicing celibacy. However, those for actively participating in sex, there are still multiple options. If you are trying to prevent the chance of an STD, Planned Parenthood recommends that you use a condom to block any bodily fluid mixing with your partners. You can also test yourself and your partner to see if there is any reason to worry over one. Now, if you are trying to avoid pregnancy, they recommend a variety of contraceptives like an implant, an IUD, a patch, a ring, or pills, and then also a condom. All of these options have over a 90% effective rating against pregnancy. Planned Parenthood, no date. To summarize, the decision to practice an unprotected sex could be a costly one, but it is way preventable. As stated before, engaging in risky sexual behavior can cause a transmission of STDs and STIs and/or pregnancy. This act does not only affect you, but could affect a huge population you didn't know of. Although it is not favored, the decision to have secure sex is easy, as there are multiple options to make it safer. With such a huge sexual footprint in STI and STD cases, we can be more responsible when it comes to having sex for ourselves and for others. Thank you.